Gentleman from Missouri reserves the balance of his time. The gentlewoman from New York. The gentleman from Oregon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield myself such time as I may consume. In today's economy, small business is where innovation happens. The Science and Technology Committee intends to promote science and technology research that drives an innovation economy. That is why I rise in support of H.R. 2965, the Enhancing Small Business Research and Innovation Act. At more than $2.3 billion per year, the Small Business Innovation Research and Small Business Technology Transfer programs comprise the largest source of federal support for technological innovation in the private sector. Given the current economic climate, we need robust SBIR and STTR programs to create the next generation of companies that will provide high-paying jobs and grow our economy. However, these programs originated more than 25 years ago. Given the economic changes we have seen during the past 2 decades, we need to update these programs to reflect the current economic realities of our increasingly competitive innovation economy. The Committees on Small Business and the Committee on Science and Technology have held numerous hearings on SBIR and STTR over the past several years. Witnesses shared many recommendations about how SBIR and STTR can be strengthened. Recently, both committees overwhelmingly supported H.R. 2965, with each committee voting favorably to reauthorize SBIR and STTR through 2011 with some much-needed modernization and changes. The legislation has been endorsed by more than 100 organizations, including the American Association of Universities, BIO, the National Venture Capital Association, the Energy Sciences Coalition, and the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. The bill increases the award sizes for Phase 1 and Phase 2 to reflect the actual costs of doing high-tech research today. It also increases the flexibility of SBIR by allowing cross-agency awards and allowing applicants to apply directly for Phase 2 funding. H.R. 2965 allows venture capital-backed small businesses to once again apply for awards and specifically defines their eligibility requirements. This temporary ban on venture capital majority ownership was the result of a ruling in 2003 by an administrative law judge in Boston. For 20 years, from the inception of the program in 1983 to 2003, venture capital funded companies could freely participate in these programs. There is no evidence anywhere that during that time there was any crowd out of other businesses by VC-backed businesses. There has been a lot of debate over the role of venture capital participation, but the National Academy studies recently released states that venture-backed companies are important, they contribute greatly to technological development, and they do not, emphatically do not, crowd out other small businesses. The goal of SBIR is to encourage innovation. It is time that we fix the administrative ruling of a single judge and support more innovative small businesses and the best technology that we can help bring to market. Today, we recognize our leadership by reauthorizing SBIR and STTR, and I want to commend Chairwoman Velasquez in particular for her commitment to small business innovation. I urge my colleagues to support this bill and reserve the balance of our time.
Gentleman from Nebraska.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself as much time as I consume.
The gentleman from Nebraska is recognized.
Thank you. I'm pleased to rise today in support of H.R. 2965, the Enhancing Small Business Research and Innovation Act of 2009. As the country continues to suffer through this deep economic recession, we have regular debates in this House and in Washington regarding what policies will best help to alleviate the current downturn and accelerate recovery. All too often in these debates, it seems there is a tendency to overlook an important fundamental fact. Government does not create wealth and prosperity. It is created, rather, in the private sector by risk-taking entrepreneurial Americans with ideas and capital and their own hard work. And there's arguably no element of the private sector better equipped to drive the economic turnaround than America's high-tech small businesses. To this end, there are ways that government can help turn our economy around by minimizing its interference in the economy and fostering an environment where private sector innovators can flourish and their ideas can be developed into new goods and services which increase productivity and our quality of life. By providing small amounts of early-stage seed funding to entrepreneurs with cutting-edge ideas, the Small Business Innovation Research Program and Small Business Technology Transfer Program can help do that. With 12 participating agencies and total funding in excess of $2.3 billion, the SBIR and STTR programs reauthorized in this bill serve to facilitate increased private sector commercialization of these promising ideas while helping the government advance its R&D goals and meet its technology needs. The legislation before us today makes important improvements to this program, most notably by providing statutory clarity to what have been changing interpretations of the eligibility of majority venture capital-backed small businesses. Both the Science and Technology Committee and the Small Business Committee have considered this issue in detail in recent years. And I think the growing consensus in support of this legislation's proposed changes is a strong indication they are on target, maximizing the eligibility of legitimate small businesses while minimizing the inappropriate eligibility of large businesses. I also want to note my strong support for Title III of this bill, which includes amendment language I included in a similar version of this legislation last year. The language requires agencies to give priority consideration to applicants from rural areas so as to increase award recipients from these areas. This is important to reach areas such as my home state of Nebraska, which tends to have low participation in the programs, but are nonetheless home to entrepreneurial and innovative small business owners who would benefit from consideration in the grant review and award process. I want to commend Chairman Gordon, Ranking Member Hall, and Chairman Wu, as well as our colleagues on the Small Business Committee for their work on this legislation. I look forward to working with them to ensure smooth and timely passage of this bill as it moves to the Senate and into conference. I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman from New York.
Mr. Chairman, I yield to the chair of the Subcommittee on Contracting and Technology who moved this legislation through the subcommittee, the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Nye, for 3 minutes.
The gentleman from Virginia is recognized for 3 minutes.
I'd like to thank Chairwoman Velasquez for her leadership here and also Ranking Member Graves. Mr. Speaker, as Chairman of the Small Business Subcommittee on Contracting and Technology, and together with Ranking Member Mr. Schock, I've held several hearings to discuss how we can do more to help our small businesses research and develop the technologies of tomorrow. From those hearings, two things became absolutely clear. Small businesses are the single most innovative sector of our economy, and with the right support, they have the power to lead us out of this recession. SBIR is a vital program that limits the risk that small business innovators face. The SBIR program is critical to innovative technology created by small businesses. Each year, the program helps 1,500 companies get off the ground. Startups that receive SBIR grants are productive job creators. In fact, the employment growth rate for these businesses is nearly 4 times that of larger firms, employing 40% of all high-tech workers. These firms have triggered extraordinary achievements. Take, for example, night vision goggles or technology for unmanned aviation. In fact, the SBIR program is crucial to improving tools that support our national security. At $1.23 billion, the DoD makes up more than half of all SBIR funding. Were it not for SBIR, critical breakthroughs accounting for improvements of technologies from our defense to healthcare may have never made it to market. And yet countless other new technologies don't make it past the laboratory doors. Innovation is a risky, resource-intensive process. Without proper funding, even the most brilliant invention may never make it. Mr. Speaker, SBIR and STTR are important tools for developing new products, but not just as a means for invention. By sparking innovation, they mark the surest path to unlocking new markets, expanding new industries, and most importantly, creating new jobs. This bill is an important step towards lasting growth, and I look forward to its passage. I yield back the remainder of my time.